I'm recording now. All right, look, look. Let's just put this out here. I love God too. You know, everybody has their own mindset of that. You know what I mean? So I am real as hell. I am very outspoken. I'm very straight to the point. There's some things that you really can't talk about in some people's churches, and there's some things you can talk about in some people's churches. You know, and yes, my wife's right. I did want to be because I had a lot of people telling me, why don't you go preach, or why don't you just, you remind me of, I attract people like that. They feel like I have something to say. But what I got to say might not be what they want to hear. That's why I don't do it, because, I believe in common sense. It's common sense. Like, I believe that we're just not the only people out here. I feel like this universe is real big and vast, and you gotta be a fool to believe that we're the only ones here in this universe. I feel like things should be balanced out. I feel like people be doing just too much up in churches. I feel like if I go up in the church, I shouldn't have to feel like when they pass the money tray around, I shouldn't have to feel like I'm obligated to put something in it. I feel like it shouldn't be passed around anyway. Preaching his word should not be for sale, or you get paid for it. It's just a building in my eyes. He's within you. Everywhere you go, he's with you. When you speak to him, you have your own relationship with him. You ain't gotta remind people, of what he does for you and things like that, or trying to convert people into whatever you believe in. Whatever it is out there for that individual shall be found through that individual, if he's seeking that path. Either way it go, he gonna bump heads with it anyway. God has a mysterious way of putting you in a place or in a situation, so you have no choice but to see him and hear him. Shouldn't no man on earth tell you that? That's me right here. That's I'm just too real. Let's talk about pork that we shouldn't be eating. Let's talk about all the devils and bad spirits that have been casted into pork, and all the pork that was given to us as slaves for us to eat. You don't never hear about in these churches talking about that. To the way to heaven is through cleanliness and holiness. And I really think, anyway, I think this: once you're a baby, you're the most holiest, most pure thing in the world until you start knowing right from wrong. When you start knowing right from wrong, then that's when you're of this earth. It's hell on earth, and it's listen, I could talk about this all day, but that's why I just stay in my own lane. And I sometimes look at people and I just sometimes laugh, because a lot of people are hypocrites. My wife knows it. She ain't gonna say nothing, but she know it. But she's a very, very beautiful, godly woman. She has bad days, she has good days, and she has things that she's dealing with. But I love her, and she loves me too, because of my open-mindedness. I believe in the universe and things being balanced out, the yin and yang, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, it's only one God, period. It's only him. Only him. That's it. There's nothing else. He's the true God. Only him. Peace.